Well, good afternoon. It's the weekend. It's Sunday, February the 15th, the day after Valentine's Day, which means chocolate is going to be all 50% off. And I know my director behind the screen here, Steve Perko, he's going to buy some chocolate today at 50% off. Maybe it will warm you up because the extreme cold, it's in place for all of us. We are feeling colder than we did during last year's polar vortex. Think about that. Kind of puts it into perspective, doesn't it? We saw some new record low temperatures this morning. Look at Collingwood and Markham. The same back in 1987, exactly the same, and then exactly the same for this morning. Again, minus 26. That doesn't even take into account the wind chill. Let me show you Sandbanks now. Thanks for sending in that video. Beautiful, but the snow yesterday throughout Ontario, it was a disaster. We saw the closure of the QEW in Mississauga, closure of the 401 out in Woodstock, closure of the 400 just south of Barrie, King City. It was incredible, the amount of multi-vehicle pileups. One of our meteorologists, Matt Grinter, he said that his buddy has an auto shop just off the 400 and 20 vehicles were brought into his auto shop. Bad time out there. Good for business, but terrible time in terms of those snow squalls. Now this evening, when we look at the wind chill, minus 35 in the city of Toronto. This extreme cold warning, it is in place and it's going to last. Monday afternoon, minus 20. We are talking about extreme cold, especially when the wind chill comes into play. Winds directly out of the north, high pressure in place. This is not a good high pressure though. It's straight out of the Arctic and it's keeping us very cold. What? Toronto didn't make the list of the coldest places on Earth? I know this morning you probably thought we would be. Yeah, the wind chill was into the minus 30s. It was freezing cold. Putting it into perspective though, Atlantic Canada is dealing with a crazy blizzard nor'easter. So our freezing cold, it seems a little bit easier, right? When we put it into that perspective, but the extreme cold warning still here. It is basically in place for all of Ontario. We're all feeling this extreme cold. It even extends up into northern Quebec as well. Wind chills into the minus 40s. Frostbite is a huge concern this time of year. Let me show you Sandbanks though. Let's go to this video. Okay. Weekend though, I'm here with you. If you want to tweet me and complain about it, I'll listen. Okay, let's look at this morning. Record low temperatures. Markham, minus 26.7. Exact same story in Collingwood. Burlington, minus 23.4. This does not take into account the wind chill. Wind chills feeling like the minus 30s. And this is going to be the same story again this evening and into tomorrow. Family Day. If you have outdoor plans, you might want to change them or just limit your time outdoors. If we look at the city of Toronto tonight, minus 35. Same thing goes for Hamilton. We're seeing temperatures that are so comparable even into the north. This is a 5-hour drive north and the wind chill still the same. As we look at Monday afternoon, same thing goes here. Really not warming up. Toronto minus 14. This is below seasonal. And when we look at these winds, what some of these winds are doing this afternoon, right over the lakes, snow squalls. They will be lighter today than they were yesterday, but still watch out for low visibility down on the 401, up the 400 as well. This is where we could see those whiteout conditions as the squalls, they continue this time of year. This afternoon, high pressure's in place. We're really not dealing with snow throughout the city of Toronto. You could see some blowing snow, but that's pretty much it. Not really worrying about any big snowstorms coming into play. No, as high pressure dominates and keeps us cold. When we look at Wednesday, this could be a quick burst of snow, but the cold, that really is our big story. Don't go anywhere. Share your weather. We love when you do just that, and especially on weekends, we like it even more when you participate in the weather selfie. That's you on the Weather Network, and this weather selfie, it's extra cute. This is Chelsea and Sierra from Niagara Falls. Happy Valentine's and happy Family Day. That, of course, was shot yesterday as the snow was blowing through Niagara Falls, but they got it exactly right. Temperatures to dip down to the minus 40s with that wind chill. And on Monday for Family Day, guys, this is what you can expect in Niagara Falls. That wind chill to feel like minus 21. You'll see the sunshine, but it will be cold. So if you want to be in the weather selfie, connect with me. You can find me on Twitter at Rachel Schoutsen or upload your video to upload.theweathernetwork.com. I want to chat about this big storm that's headed through the Atlantic provinces. This is like a weather selfie too. Jacqueline Whittle and Mark Robinson, you can call them Marklin. They're out in PE PEI, and they're tracking this storm, a huge nor'easter. And this is what some of you had to say as well. I also want to mention Nate Coleman. He's out there too in Halifax where it's raining. Lots of transition with this storm. Look at this. I'm losing my view pretty fast, says the cat from Moncton as that snow continues to pile up. And I'm sure this is what a lot of you think. Today has been canceled. There's so many cancellations out east. Anything from airports to ski hills to the liquor store to gas stations. Big closures as this blizzard rolls through. And of course, we'll continue to track ATL storm. That's the hashtag on Twitter. This big nor'easter as it tracks through the Atlantic provinces. Let's recap today, though. This is what today looks like right across the country. We see a weak clipper move through the prairies, and we do have some colder weather coming into play. Ontario, the frigid wind chills, as Chelsea and Sierra mentioned, and that nor'easter coming through. And this is family day. Still impacted by the nor'easter, still feeling that cold, but a mild day out on the BC coast. And now it's the weekend. It's a cold weekend. Yeah, have you been talking about the colds? Because we certainly have. The extreme cold warnings are in place right now, stretching from southwestern Ontario all the way up into northwestern Ontario, through northern Quebec as well. Right now, it's warmer in Timmins than it is in the city of Toronto, just by a degree. But how often does that happen, right? Look at some of the temperatures this morning. Record low temperatures, minus 23 in Burlington, minus 26 in Markham. It was cold, no matter which way you slice it. And it was a disaster out on Ontario roads yesterday. The 401 shut down through Waterloo. The 400 shut down southbound lanes around King City. It was a mess. The whiteout conditions really were a disaster. And this evening, well, the wind chills are also a disaster. It is just so cold. Remember last year's polar vortex, the one that everybody tweeted about and talked about? This is actually colder than the polar vortex. So that's a new one, right? Minus 35 rather, the wind chill for the city of Toronto. Minus 36 in Barrie. It is going to be cold. And tomorrow for Family Day, limit your time outside because you are dealing with extreme temperatures. Minus 20 will be the wind chill tomorrow, Monday afternoon. When we talk about the winds, that's how the wind chill comes into play. It removes that warm air bubble that we keep around our body. So as we look at some of the winds straight out of the north, high pressure comes into play, and this is not a good high. It's straight out of the Arctic, and it's chilling us to the bone. And when we talk about the snow squalls, weak again today. Now, do you like this weather? What do you think about the cold? I want you to connect with me. Talk to me on Twitter. Thanks for sticking with us here at the Weather Network. I want to put things into perspective for us, okay? I know it's cold and everybody's talking about it and complaining about it, but notice this big nor'easter over the Atlantic provinces. This is bringing blizzard-like conditions, over 50 centimeters of snow. It's also flooding Halifax with its transition in precipitation. It is just so not pleasing. So our weather doesn't seem that bad, right? At least the sun is out. At least the sidewalks are clear and you don't have to shovel the driveway in this extreme cold where the wind chills, they're almost into the minus 40s. By the way, City of Toronto, all-time lowest wind chill, minus 44. That's the record. Not likely to beat that record. We're feeling wind chills into the minus 30s. These are some records, though, that were recorded this morning. This is record low temperatures. So minus 26.7, the exact same thing, Collingwood and Markham. Let me show you Hamilton now. Very close to minus 30. This evening, let's check this out. In Hamilton, minus 35 with the wind chill. Same thing goes for the city of Toronto, a little bit colder up in Barrie. But I find this so interesting. No matter where you look in Ontario, we are all feeling that extreme cold. And it's not that often that North Bay at minus 18 is almost comparable to places throughout southern Ontario. Look at Sault Ste. Marie at minus 13. It's actually warmer than the city of Toronto. Interesting stuff to think about. Yeah, what will the pattern be like? Rachel Schoutsen here with you. This is the Long Ranger, and we'll start off looking across the prairies and out to BC. Notice Monday, not a whole lot going on. We're starting off the week with a very calm weather pattern. We see the high pressure come into place. This brings some colder weather through Saskatchewan up and towards northwestern Ontario, and then BC sees light showers late Wednesday and in through Thursday. Really? It's a pretty easy week once we start looking at this. Vancouver, again, late day Wednesday in through Thursday. Great start for the weekend. Above seasonal temperatures. Where we're not seeing above seasonal temperatures really is from northern Saskatchewan through Manitoba and all the way out east. But I want you to notice this. Look how much warmer it is throughout BC and Alberta. This is about a 20-degree difference, let's say from Ontario over towards BC and southern Alberta. Calgary, again, you're lucking out with some great temperatures throughout next week. 8 degrees, 7 degrees, above seasonal, very comfortable, and not an active weather pattern. When we look at Toronto, though, well below seasonal. Not too much in the way of active weather. Scattered flurries Tuesday. Main day for that is in through Wednesday with a passing cold front. But overall, the big story is this, the extreme cold. We're talking about some pretty big wind chills throughout Ontario. Ottawa, not escaping the cold either. Next Friday, wind chill -21. And I also want to pay attention to the east. Big nor'easter today through till Monday. And then we also have this Gulf low that's coming into play. So we are looking at a very active pattern for the east, really ramping things up Wednesday and in through Thursday. And that's your Long Ranger. We're about to get into call out here on the Weather Network, but first let's start off and talk about those temperatures because you're talking about them on Twitter, at home. They have been cold. Oh my goodness. This evening, -22 in the city of Toronto. Yeah, we're back into this. Monday morning, it's going to feel similar to what it was this morning. Frigid, freezing cold. The wind chill close to -40s. Extreme cold alerts are in place. Warnings are there as well. And then as we look at Monday afternoon, things are not getting much better. You can expect this cold through the month of February. Now, here's call out. And that's call out. Hope you enjoyed the program because you won't enjoy this. No, winds right out of the north. Seeing this purple, if you follow the legend here, that's temperatures close to -20 into the -30s. Seeing this purple flood all the way down into southern Ontario, south of Lake Erie here, this is a rare scene. This is extreme cold, and we're dealing with this tonight and into tomorrow. Family Day isn't going to be a very pleasant one. As we look at this evening, temperatures down to -22 for the city of Toronto, and then this is a snapshot into your family day.